Hi everyone. Today we are going to start with our new chapter, The Deep Water, written by William Douglas. William Douglas talk in this chapter talk about his fear of water and how he overcome it with strong willpower, hard work and a strong determination. Once he took courage, the fear obviously vanished, and that shows that most of our fears are baseless. So, in this chapter, the writer experiences and he confirms that where there is a will, there is the way. So, let us see the summary of this chapter with a great explanation. So, here we go. Summary of the chapter Deep Water. The story begins with the narrators recounting an incident that took place when he was 10 or 11 years old. The narrator had decided to learn swimming at the YMCA pool in Yakima. He was initially worried when he stepped into the YMCA pool since it stirred unpleasant memories of his past. When the narrator was about 3 or 4 years old, his father had taken him to a beach in California. Had knocked him over and he had been covered by water. This experience had filled him with a deep fear of water. The narrator felt this fear resurfacing at the YMCA pool also. But over some days, he overcame the fear by observing and imitating the actions of other boys who were swimming in the pool. One day, the narrator was sitting along by the side of the pool, waiting for the others to turn up. He did not have the confidence to enter the pool alone. Suddenly, a huge boy of 18 came in, picked him up, and threw him into the deep end of the pool. The narrator panicked as he sank to the bottom of the pool, but he kept his wits about him. He decided to push himself up to the surface when his feet hit the bottom and then pedaled to the edge of the pool. Unfortunately, he came up slowly. When he opened his eyes, he saw nothing but yellow water only. He started to panic as he rose, especially when he could not get his face out of water. He was sinking. As he sank slowly back down, he started to lose his breath and was suddenly stiff with fear. He reached the bottom and he jumped again, coming up slowly. He was overcome with the terror again and froze. He almost came up but again went back under the water. Darkness surrounded him as he gave up and struggled to survive, exhausted. Death seemed to welcome him and he lost consciousness. The next thing he knew, he was lying beside the pool, vomiting the water he had swallowed. He had been pulled out of the water just in time. This incident left him feeling vulnerable and helpless, and from that day, he was terrified of water. He took fear of water. As he grew older, this fear stayed with him and ruined his fishing trips as well as his swimming trips, canoeing trips also. Even it prevented him from enjoying simple joys of life like canoeing, boating, and swimming. Finally, he decided to learn swimming from an instructor. The instructor started practicing 5 days a week at a pool. First, he swam repeatedly up and down a pool with a belt that was attached to an overhead rope that the instructor held. He panicked every time, but he went underwater. But this subsided over 3 months. The instructor then taught him to breathe and kick properly, and eventually he learned to swim without any help. The narrator was overjoyed but wondered if he could swim alone without his instructor's support, then what? He managed just time, and to curb his lingering doubts, he swam alone across the Lake Wentworth and then across the warm lake which he had visited before. He did experience his old fear once in Lake Wentworth, but was able to ignore it. And when he was able to swim across the warm lake and back, he was ecstatic at having conquered his fear. The narrator ends the story by quoting the Franklin D. Roosevelt's words, "As we have to fear is fear itself." His near death experience had only made him stronger. He finally felt liberated himself. That's all. I hope you liked the video and understood it properly. Thank you and bye.